As you know, we call ourselves MBS Academy. And the MBS stands for Mind Body Studies. And the moment you come in, we started by saying what I just said to her now, which is, please lie on your back, lengthen your arms, lengthen your legs, and notice the contact with the ground. This one sentence, this one beginning, what does it appeal to the person? I want to show you how we approach this particular study. So when she lies like this, and I say, notice the contact with the floor. At that moment, there is a different, and notice the way the heels are lying, right? At that moment, there is suddenly an attention to the heels that she didn't have before. And which means there's some new connection that's happening in the body, but it's happening in the mind. So all the time we explore new connections, new pathways, and how and who is in charge. We start like this, and we all did it by noticing the contact with the floor, and you'll see that when you notice the contact with the floor, something happens. Because if I tell you now, think of this foot, this calf, the left calf, the left thigh, the left pelvis, you get the mind sending messages, and she starts inside to make some connections. And something is going to have an effect so that it will be clearer, or she will feel the foot in another way. And these connections are what we want very much to put together. And we give you combinations that are not very usual. You don't every day do these many combinations. And with every combination, since the whole thing is connected, not only does the body perform in ways that it didn't perform before, but that performance is because of how it reached the brain. So it's one thing. You cannot divorce these two. And that's where we can have so many possibilities. And it is what we are studying also, and mainly, is the connections. Because the connection between this heel and me saying to her, notice your heel, that already is a connection. As she hears the request, something very nice happens. She listens, she hears, she performs, she makes something. And performing, paying attention, as you said, is also performance. Something is happening, and above all this, she's supervising. She's as if looking from above and allowing all these systems to get together. That's where we start our detective work or investigation or finding what we're doing. So let's say put your right hand on your head. Get hold of your right knee with your left hand, like we did yesterday. Just do the movement. Take the knee to the elbow and the elbow to the knee. And come back, and come back. If you look at it, it's amazing. It's amazing. And you want to study how does all this combine together and make sense into something where the whole body is coordinating. So you come here and put your hands under her back in the middle. Do the movement. Come back. Do you feel more movement on your little finger than on your thumb, or the opposite?
Little finger.
Yeah. So then you really know how she mobilizes, the way she mobilizes herself. And gradually, thank you very much, and gradually, okay, you can come back, you can start sensing how is she organizing herself. And sometimes there are big differences between what you feel between one side and another, and you'll recognize her way of organizing herself, the way her muscles in the front and the back coordinate. And all these things will get clearer and clearer to you. And the wonderful thing that happens is because if I ask her to do it and he puts his hand there, we ask to get information. But everything we do, she gets information. If I touch her here, she gets a different information than if I touch both of them or one of them. So both of us are detectives. We both want to know how is it happening, and marvel once you'll start doing it and feeling how things do connect. You'll see the magic in this whole system, where by doing something here, something happens up there in the brain. You don't see it in the brain, you'll feel it here. Because there'll be new understanding of how to bend the knee. So you start developing new paths and new cells come to life. The more you listen to this. And therefore, you don't need big movements, you don't need difficult touches, because you are not changing anything. She inside is changing it. And if your touch is sympathetic enough or understanding enough, you'll get her to understand better, deeper, and eventually we'll also see how we can make changes.